We're really pleased to win. The biggest source of that is how much respect we have for USC. It's a really good team, good players, proven veteran, good coach. So we'll be pulling for those guys for the rest of the season. It's kind of like that in these early tournaments. Now you hope the people that you played against will have good seasons as well. And I think they have a real chance. They got great players. Obviously, tell of both halves for us. Didn't play very well in the first half. I think a lot of that was us, but also got to give a lot of credit to the opponent. Second half, we obviously settled down. You shoot 80% in a college basketball game and only have 3 turnovers, then you're going to be successful a lot of times. So thought basically we won the game with our offense in the second half.
Opening up for questions for Drake or Matt.
Matt, you really were able to come out hot at the start of that second half. What was kind of behind your transition coming out of the locker room after kind of a slow first half?
Yeah, we were just sluggish in the first half, and that's just not us. That's on me and the other seniors. We just can't let that happen. So second half, we just wanted to bring the energy, got a couple steals, and got out in transition a little bit. And once we hit some shots, it got contagious.
Obvious question, but I just want to ask about the highlight dunk and what went through your head.
I mean, it was just to me, it was just a normal play. Great pass from my teammate. So, Matt dropped a dime, and, I just finished the play off like Coach said. We just finish and have toughness.
The defense, was it that much better in the second half, or just a matter for both players, or that they were always taking the ball out of the net when you're shooting 80%? But it seemed like your defense kind of took control too early second half.
Yeah, we knew they wanted to get out in transition. In first half, when we're missing shots, that just feeds into their transition offense. So obviously making shots really helped us, get back and build a wall.
Yeah, and I agree with Matt with missed shots leading to their transition. But second half, we really did pick it up defensively. Like Matt said, we started off the second half early with a couple of stops, strung something together, and that really got us going, got the energy flowing.
Any other questions?
Question for both of you guys. Just the roles that you guys are playing now are a little bit different than last year. Do you guys feel after this game and the run you had in the second half that you have a little more kind of ownership and more leadership within the team?
Yeah, most definitely. The first 3 games were some good opponents, but we knew USC was definitely going to challenge us, and they did in that first half. And it helps playing these games early in the year, preparing you for later on, and just figuring out what your role is as a team and getting tested a little bit.
Yeah, I agree with what Matt said. This was a real test for us, and it's coming out. We've always had that leadership role, but this game just goes to show, like the first half, like we always have to be ready. As leaders, as seniors on this team, just stepping into new roles that we got to be ready to play every single game early, all 40 minutes.
Coach, could you talk about the changes you made at halftime and how helpful it was receiving the data from Shot Tracker?
I can't really talk about halftime. I've got 3 daughters. I like my paycheck. Our guys want to be coached. We had some real words at halftime. I just didn't think we were playing our best. We had 2 things going on. First is just like effort, toughness, who we are, kind of our DNA. Wasn't pleased with that. Then basketball, we weren't playing well. So, but our guys want to be coached. I got some grown men in there. Those 4 seniors, Jarrett Culver, experienced player, Morrow. These guys have been through a lot. So I give our credit to the players for responding after a tough halftime. A lot of truth telling in our locker room. Shot tracker, I mean, it's awesome. It's like I'm a basketball guy. I grew up like buying the basketball cards and looking at guys' stats on the back, and even back in the JUCO days where we had nothing, we'd stay up all night and get stats and chart things. This is just it's the next level of technology in basketball. So we're pleased to be a part of this tournament for so many reasons. But obviously, Shot Tracker's kind of trend-setting what they're doing in basketball.
Another question?
Coach, with the team, and this is early in the year, how many of those where you can just kind of go after your guys and say, this has got to be better, effort's got to be better? And I mean, are there just a number of bullets that you have for a whole season on that?
Yeah, it's a good question. I was actually thinking about that when I walked back to the floor in the second half. You know, you can't do this every week. Yeah, absolutely. You know, I mean, we talk a lot in our team, truth-telling. Sounds like a given, but we don't waste a lot of time. We don't have time to play mind games in this. We go to work every day. We try to get better. We understand how good the competition is at this level, especially in this tournament. Very similar to what it's like in our league, playing a USC team and then now a Nebraska team. But we start that in recruiting, and we try to recruit guys that want to be coached hard and want to be told the truth. I give our players a lot of credit. You know, like obviously the way they responded from the first half to the second half with only a 15-minute college halftime was pretty impressive.
Chris, you've got quite a history in the Big 12, and I know you appreciate the history of the conference. Is it kind of fun to have kind of like an old school Big 12 matchup against Nebraska coming up tomorrow night?
Yeah, I haven't thought of it like that, but yeah, absolutely. When I was in the Big 12, my first stint with Pat and Coach Knight, we had some great games at Nebraska. Number one, I just have a lot of respect for their program and their fans. It's always kind of like just basketball country out there, and even as the opposing team, if you play well, they'll respect good basketball. Got a personal connection with those coaches too, especially Mike Lewis, who was a point guard for Coach Knight at Indiana, and then he was on our coaching staff as a GA at Texas Tech. So there's relationships in this game. Don't like playing against friends, but at this level, when you coach as long as we have, the paths are going to cross. So I've only seen Nebraska play one time. I watched their game just on television, and so now we'll dig in tonight. But I know this, they're really good. They look to me like an obvious Sweet 16 type team on paper. And then if you're that good, you can always win a couple more and make the Final Four. So I think they've got experience. They've got guard play. You know, we'll have to play one of our better games in the season to compete tomorrow, but that's our intention.
Hey, Chris, what did you learn about your team in the second half? You know, you guys had a pretty big haul, obviously, dug out of it, and then some. I mean, by the end of it, you know, your biggest lead was bigger than SC's. So what'd you learn about your team tonight?
Well, I think the obvious is how they responded. And that's not easy, not playing well and all of a sudden flipping the script. And we played really good basketball in the second half. Again, you shoot 80% and only have 3 turnovers. You know, you can beat a lot of people. So I learned that we can make adjustments. I learned that our guys were everything that I'd hope in terms of being grown men that want to be coached hard. I liked our balance today. We get 4 guys in double figures. We need that 5th guy right there as well. We'll find that guy. We got some good players, like Brandon Francis, one of our better players. He couldn't quite get going tonight offensively, but he made some plays to help us win, played key minutes. So, I mean, that's a good question. I think every team right now is a work in progress. The best teams in the country and those that aren't so good, everybody's trying to get better. We're no different. But I think the chance to play against this competition in this type of venue, you know, gives us a chance to get better.